So I'll show you some good reps and then we'll talk about it. So the three things we're going to talk about are the bench height, the arm path, and what you're doing with your feet. So the bench height, I want set up whatever the lowest bench angle that you can use where you can still get full range of motion at the bottom. And so what I want is to be able to get all the way down here. And as you can see, I'm actually letting my back round a little bit into this dead hang position. That is important. And you can see the dumbbells are not hitting the ground. If I put the bench on, 10 to 15, maybe even 20 degrees, what's going to happen is the dumbbells are hitting the ground here before I hit full range of motion, before I get to that fully stretched position. So I want you to use the lowest bench angle that you can use and still get full range of motion. For me and for most people, that's going to be about 30 degrees. That's what this looks like, and I can help you with the bench angle if you send a form video. If you use something like this, which is 45 degrees, it's still going to work, but it's going to work the muscles in a little bit different way. You're going to work a little bit more of the traps, which isn't the end of the world, but not really what we're going for here. So you want to set up with the lowest bench angle that you can use and still get full range of motion, which for most people is about 30 degrees, but just do a little guess and check and I'm happy to help. You can set up in the bench two different ways. You can either put the head of the bench in your sternum, which is what I recommend. That's what I was showing you in those demonstration reps, where it looks something like this. You can also set up like this, where you're sitting in the seat like this, but now your whole chest, your chin, potentially your head, depending on how short you are, is against the bench. And that's totally fine too, but I do find the other way a little bit more comfortable. So once you're in this position, I'll tell you right now, I do not care what you do with your feet as long as you get comfortable. For some people, that's gonna look like this. For other people, it's gonna look like this. For other people, it's gonna look like this, which is actually my preferred way to do this, is this sort of frog position where my feet are wedged into the seat part of the bench, and I feel super stable and comfortable. For other people, it might even be like this. So at the end of the day, I really don't care what you do with your feet. Just make sure you try a bunch of these and you pick the one where you're the most comfortable. When it comes to arm path, because we are focusing on the rear delts and the upper back, I want your arms not tucked tight to the torso. I want them up off the body somewhere in this range. They don't need to be up here. They just need to be not tucked to the body. And so instead of thinking, hug my arms here, let them flare off the body and you're doing great. The second thing I want to focus on is scapular movement. It sounds fancy. I just want to make sure at the bottom of the rep, you are letting your shoulder blades protract and reach forward. And as you pull up, you are retracting or pinching your shoulder blades together. On the way down, let the shoulder blades move forward. As you pull, retract. And that might come with some of this sitting up motion. A little bit of that is totally fine. And so in action, it looks something like this. Arms flared off the body. Retract as you pull. Big stretch, retract. Pull, elbows really far back behind the body. So, quick recap. Set the bench up to the lowest height you can use and still get full range of motion without hitting the floor. Set yourself up either with the head of the bench underneath your sternum like this, or you can sit in the bench here and decide which of those you feel is more comfortable for you. When it comes to what you do with your feet, I don't care, just get comfortable. That might be something like this where you keep the feet up and high and wide. It might be feet back here. It might be a frog position. It might be knees up on the bench. Truthfully, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you feel comfortable and stable enough to push hard within the movement. Then I want you to pull with the elbows flared off the body somewhere here and make sure you're protracting and retracting as you pull.